Welcome to Newsmax TV. I'm Ashley Martella. We're pleased to be joined on the phone by newspaper columnist and radio talk show host Herman Cain, who now says he's formed a presidential exploratory committee. In 2004, he ran for the U.S. Senate in Georgia in a Republican primary won by Johnny Isakson. Mr. Cain is well known as the former chairman and CEO of Godfather's Pizza. He was also formerly the chairman of the board for the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City. Welcome to Newsmax again, Herman.
Thank you, Ashley. It's my pleasure.
You broadcasted a couple of shows from Arizona this week instead of your home base in Atlanta. Many on the left are pointing the finger at conservative talk radio hosts like Rush Limbaugh for creating a vitriolic political climate that contributed to the Tucson tragedy. What do you say to that?
I say that is just silly, silly, silly is what I say. It has been well established that that deranged young man was in fact deranged, that committed that terrible tragedy on the people that died, as well as Congresswoman Giffords. It's silly to try and spin a tragedy into liberal talking points against conservative talk show hosts or anybody that's conservative. I think it's just a silly argument, and it's disrespectful to the families of those that lost their lives.
Some liberals in Congress are advocating the return of the so-called fairness doctrine. Do you see that happening legislatively or perhaps unilaterally by the Federal Communications Commission? And what effect would that have on talk radio and opinion-oriented cable news shows?
The good news is it's not going to happen legislatively right now because of what happened on November the 2nd. But there are signs that the administration is going to try to do a backdoor fairness doctrine through the FTC. Don't know exactly how they're going to do that, but the American people are going to be very aware of these backdoor regulations that are going to try and silence people like me and others who are simply telling people the truth. The liberal side in this country, they simply don't want people to know the truth. But when people find out that they're trying to muzzle people who are telling them the truth, I believe just like the citizen movement started to grow and got strong and made a statement on November the 2nd, they will make another statement, strong statement in 2012 against the arrogance as well as the suppression that's being led by this administration.
All right, Herman, about your possible presidential bid. When will you decide if you're running, and what issues would you take front and center in your platform?
The Presidential Exploratory Committee allows me to test two things. One, the level of voter support for an unconventional candidate like myself, meaning I'm not a politician, I'm a businessman, problem solver. And secondly, it'll allow me to test how much financial support that I will be able to garner. I can tell you right now, Ashley, that the early indications, as well as what we've already done, have exceeded our expectations. And so, depending upon how quickly we're able to raise funds and how quickly we're able to get people to sign up on my website, HermanCain.com, as a volunteer to basically say that they'd be willing to help in the campaign, it just depends upon how fast that goes. So we're going to wait and see how quickly the support comes my way to determine exactly when I'm going to make an announcement about being a declared candidate.
And your major issues would be?
My major issues would be, number one, strengthen national security. This administration has weakened national security. Number two, unleash the full economic potential in our economy. The measures that were taken by this Congress and this administration near the end of the 111th Congress simply were not enough, didn't go far enough. Extending tax rates for 2 years simply is going to extend the period of uncertainty for another 2 years. I don't believe that it went far enough, nor were the cuts deep enough. And number three, I firmly believe that we have got to cut spending, and there's a way to do it. We can't just trim around the edges. We can't just trim around the edges when we get ready to cut the federal spending. We're going to have to cut out whole programs. And then another one of my key issues is fixing the immigration problems. I said problems, Ashley, because it's not one problem, it's three. Securing the border, enforcing the laws that are already there, as well as promoting the path to citizenship that's already there. We don't need a new path to citizenship. And then another hot button for me is I will develop, because I'm in the process of developing it now, a legitimate, serious energy independence strategy. Back in the 1970s, less than 25% of all of our oil was imported foreign oil. Today, it's closer to 70%. It has become a national security crisis for us to be that vulnerable to foreign oil. So those are some of the top issues that I'm going to focus on.
Are you optimistic the Republican Party will be able to attract more black candidates and more black voters who traditionally have cast their ballots for Democrats?
I absolutely believe that, and here's why. I've had a lot of people that tell me, and they would call my show and volunteer information as to the fact that they were black, they were American, and they're starting to see the light. You see, when people have the right information, they will make the right decision. This is one of the reasons that the liberals continue to want to try to promote this fairness doctrine that they're talking about. They don't want a lot of blacks and minorities to know the truth about the Democratic Party or to know the truth about the Republican Party, because what they have done for years is demagogued the Republican Party. But now that people are listening to talk radio and they are getting the right facts about what the Republican Party stands for, more and more people are beginning to vote Republican and aligning themselves with Republican values.
Herman Cain, thanks so much and good luck to you, sir.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.